Hello YouTube. Today I'm at Yoder's Amish farm, and we're gonna go up and tour a couple of houses up this way and the barn behind me. And I gotta be careful about filming, is try not to get any of the Amish employees in the shots, because it makes them uncomfortable. They don't really want their pictures taken. So I'm gonna do what I can do, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, people that know about the Amish have heard of Mennonites, and most people think that the Mennonites split off from the Amish. Mennonites being people that have a little more modern conveniences, maybe have electricity, will drive around in cars, where the Amish tend to, some of the sects that are more conservative won't even ride in a car, they'll ride in a buggy. There's 14 or 15 different sects. Turns out the Mennonites were first, and the Amish split off from them. They wanted to be a little more conservative, and they first settled in Pennsylvania, which is why the language that they use tends to be referred to as Pennsylvania Dutch. It's really German from the area of Germany, Switzerland, the Netherlands, that area. It's a dialect of German. And yeah, so when they do go to school, they'll go to school till 8th grade. In this area, in this county, there's something like 46,000 people, and 36,000 of them are Amish. So there are some just straight up Amish schools, like the one here on the grounds. There are others where the kids actually go to public school, but they finish their education at 8th grade, no matter where they go. The first house built here was the little one, built in 1866, and then 20 years later, in 1886, they built the bigger house, and we're going to take a look inside the two. That's unusual, is that normally when a farm is first settled, they build the big house, and then when the parents get ready to sell the farm to the children, they will build a small house, and that way, they're still here to help, but not living in the same house. So let's go up and take a look. So in the small house built in the 1860s, and that is a cherry pitter. So the Amish dolls have no faces because the Bible says don't worship graven images. That's why they also don't like their pictures taken. But basic living room, and I don't know if anybody's ever noticed, but I have a tin version of this in my bus. Anybody know what that is? The big house is a little more modern. It does have running water, but it's gravity fed from a spring up on top of the hills. They actually have a bathroom. It's right off the main bedroom and off of the living room, which is much bigger and much more comfortable furniture. But still, no electricity. So you got your nice propane light there. And like this one over here is electric but can be hooked up to a battery. It's an interesting way to store a hat. I would need about 15 of those. So this is the boys' room, and that's everyday wear, and this is Sunday go to meeting clothes. No pockets. This is the girls' room, and again, everyday clothes, dress up. And this is adults, daily wear, or going to church. Same here. I'm going to wear the white with a black cap over the top. When you take the tour, one of the last rooms they take you in is into the kitchen, and today they were making some cinnamon rolls, so that trapped me into picking up a couple for breakfast tomorrow. Here's a cornerstone for the barn. In case you can't read it, it's 1885 that this barn has been here. Okay, what I find interesting about the buggies is, according to state law, they got to have headlights, got to have tail lights, turn signals, all that. There's older ones, incandescent, and they've gone to LEDs. That little guy back there in the corner is 10 weeks old. He's taller than... Now this square-sided wagon here is known as a bench wagon. The Amish don't have church buildings. They hold their services in each other's houses. They rotate around, and this is the wagon that they would use to haul the benches from farm to farm. So they could move all the furniture out in the living room, move this in, men on one side, women on the other, and hold their services. I don't know if you can see it, but way up there's a white fence, and that is the cemetery. The way the Amish do it, when someone dies, they make a plain pine box with white cloth lining. They don't do any embalming or any of that. They're set in the home for 2 days, and then people gather for the funeral services, which last a few hours. Then the casket is carried up to the grave, set in, and hymns and such are sung while the grave is filled in by people taking turns. Nobody leaves until it's filled in, and they all go back down to the house for another 3 hours or so of service. And they put the graveyard up on a hill, so the drainage, you didn't really want the area to be wet. Figure out why. So in the small house built in the 1860s, and that is a cherry pitter. So the Amish dolls have no faces because the Bible says don't worship graven images. That's why they also don't like their pictures taken. But basic living room, and I don't know if anybody's ever noticed, but I have a tin version of this in my bus. Anybody know what that is? It's an interesting way to store a hat. I would need about 15 of those. The cost for an adult here, just the tour, was $8.95. Let's call it $9. If you get the combination of everything, which is the buggy ride and the schoolhouse, it's like $14, $13.95. You can do the buggy ride is like $5. So I just chose not to do those and just do the tour. But there you go. Well, I think that's going to be the end of my visit here to Yoder's Amish farm. Get a general idea of how the Amish live, and I'll get on the road, see what else I can find. See you later, YouTube.